Hello, welcome to Euphoria and this very exciting game of 10 Candles. So, just in case it's your first time here, Euphoria is a community intended to spotlight diverse creatives here locally in Europe and outside of the US. You can find a lot of links and bits and pieces to Euphoria in the descriptions below. So MECHtember is a month of tabletop role-playing game content that include mechs as part of the story, mechanics, or the universe. In our case, we are playing little creatures inside mechs that are also little creatures. Just to give some content warnings, just in case anyone would like to dash out now or stay if you're into that. I don't judge. There are some little bits and pieces that I should warn you of. With this being 10 candles, there is a definite chance of character death. We're encouraging it. There is a possibility of self-sacrifice, whether that is utilitarian or otherwise. There'll be elements of industrial horror or eco-horror, peril to characters, both PCs and NPCs, with a heavy focus on memory loss and theft as a tool, alongside potential body horror, natural disaster mentions, and mental distress. Other than that, it's a pretty cheerful game, I like to hope. So what I'll do is I'll run us around some introductions, if everyone can give name, pronouns, a little bit of a description of what you look like, and anything that you'd like to plug as well. So hi, my name's Magpie. I am the GM for this game. I use she, they pronouns. I am a white femme person with a sort of V-shaped fringe, half and half fringe, half of it blonde, half of it ginger. I am wearing sort of blue eyeshadow with little kind of wings and dark purple lipstick. My hair in two little braids. I will ping pong over to Khalil.
Hello, my name's Khalil Thurlaway. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a mixed Arab-British man with light tan skin, shaved head, and dark stubble, and strong eyebrows, I like to think. You can normally find me over on Science and Sorcery, and I'm often doing bits and pieces here on EUphoria and other channels as well. And I'm going to pass over to Shahik.
Hello, I'm Sharik. My pronouns are she, her. I am a sound designer, actual play performer, etc. You can primarily find my work on the One Shot podcast or my own podcast, Roll by Myself. It's a solo actual play. I have light skin, black hair, sort of wavy with bangs. I'm wearing glasses, and I also have power eyebrows. I like to think. And what fucking. Oh, I also have dark eyes and some other. And I'm wearing headphones. Big ass headphones. So, thank you. I'm gonna. Chris! You're next.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris. My pronouns are he, him. I am a fairly light skinned Asian Caribbean and half British man with jet black hair and similarly jet black mustache and beard. I'm also wearing very large headphones as well. And you can find me occasionally on some social medias as Venga Boy, and you can find me on some streams and things sometimes in Euphoria as well. And I will, last and no means least, I'll pass over to Sam.
Hello folks, my name's Sam, my pronouns are he, him. I am a white Scottish man wearing colourful glasses, got short brown hair and brown beard, and wearing a blue t-shirt with a silly goose on it. I am a TTRPG performer, science communicator. You can find me over also in Science and Sorcery with Khalil, and also my own channel, Who Hurt You, telling sad, tragic stories. So I'm definitely in the right place today. I'll ping pong it back to Magpie.
Fabulous, thank you. So if everyone's ready, I think we'll get started. So, if for a moment, it's 30 degrees here in the UK, but if I could drag you for a second to a slightly colder place, you find yourselves in an area known as Haven's Perch. Haven's Perch has been something of a solace and something of a sanctuary to you for the last, let's say, 10, 15 years. Outside, the world has turned to rack and ruin. It is industrial. It is essentially a wasteland at this point. You take a breath in, anywhere outside of the woodlands, and you can smell ozone in the air, you can smell burning and pollution. It fills your nostrils to the point that you feel sometimes like you can't breathe. But here it's open. It is lined with trees and thick with a verdant covering that makes you feel a little bit more at home. A good 50 years ago or so, you started up with the patrols. So as the world was slowly coming to an end, and as we were slowly burning through all of our resources, you got essentially solar-powered mechs. They were all created as little creatures, essentially to try and keep a little bit of the legacy of what was being left behind alone. The problem is, in the last, I'd say, couple of years or so, you started noticing changes in the perch. What was once a thick, dense woodland with ferns and moss that sort of squidged under your feet, you've now spotted dark patches growing. You've spotted spots in the trees. You've spotted things that maybe weren't there before. That is definitely a signifier that something is going very, very wrong. Recently, you were called something of a meeting with a figure you know only as Mother. Mother was always the person to go to if there was ever problems, whether they be something as small as a little bit of an argument or something as large and grand as, I think we need to change things, change how things are going on completely and totally here. She handed you in a small vessel a sapling, a small tree, with the information that this contains all of the tales and stories of your people, all of the history and memories condensed into one. But that's kind of old news. 2 weeks ago, the world went dark. 1 week ago, you started noticing that the perch was growing a protective wall around itself. The branches were growing out, stretching out, and intertwining amongst themselves to create a wall to keep you in and safe and the rest of the world out and away. A few days ago, you started noticing scratches. You started noticing noises outside. But at this point, you have nowhere else to go but out. The perch is dying, the people are being left. You need to replant and find somewhere else to go. So, who are we looking at? At the minute, we're standing, all 4 of us, by the wall's outers. It's a little bit of a lower point that might be a little bit easy to get over, but you're still going to have to fight to get out of here. Who are we looking at? Who is out there?
You have one mech which it doesn't have much of a kind of torso. It's kind of like a head with arms and legs. The head, the front of it looks like a skull. And just like a ship has its name written kind of along the bow, under one eye, almost like a face tattoo, it says Judex in Mortis, judgment in death. And there are these kind of 4 somewhat kind of gangly, multi-articulated limbs. They look almost more kind of like a tentacle or a worm than a kind of, mammalian limb. And as the camera kind of zooms in to one of the eyes of this skull, you see that it's kind of lined with crystal, lined with glass. And on the inside, we're in a dark, moist, warm environment. And this mech is piloted by thousands upon thousands of worms. The collective. We are one, we are many. Our role in this kind of biome was to, keep an eye on and nurture the cycle of life and death and make sure that stuff didn't disrupt that too much. We were not to intervene too much, but just to make sure that things tick along, one in, one out. And the recent changes have had the collective, I don't know if a Gestalt consciousness of worms can experience worry the way we do, but worried.
All right, amazing. Who else? If we want to go through everyone's kind of mechs and what we look like.
Next to this first mech, you see a rat, but a big rat, taller than a regular human, with armor for skin and claws made of iron. It moves wrong, almost as though it's remembering how to walk, as if each step is decided by a vote. Inside, we are 10. 10 brothers. 10 rats. Whiskers works the front levers. His paws slick with condensation. Sprocket clings to a spinning flywheel, tightening it with his teeth. Cheddar calls out to someone else, "Left pedal, left," whilst Niblet insists that it's the right one that we need. Scamper hums an old tune just to fill the silence between the creaks as it moves. And Pip, perched on a valve, asks, "Do you think it was made for us?" Stephen answers without looking up, "No. But no one else is here to use it." And Mizo mutters about the strange smell coming from the wiring, while Zig and Zag, always together, inseparable, pull a chain in unison to make the tail swing side to side. From up here, the world is smaller. Streets that once towered over us now look like rows of toys. Doors that once shut us open like invitations. We'll be drawn towards far-off lights if we see any, because we remember that warmth that came with them, and maybe the food that came with that, and maybe other voices, but every so often we stop. All of us. And in that stillness, there's a feeling. The itch to scatter, to vanish into the darkness, to be small again. And Mizo will say, "One day the iron will break." Zig and Zag reply together, "Then we'll run." And Whiskers, the eldest of the 10 brothers, says softly, "And that will be the day we finally go home."
Amazing. That's already going to break my heart. I can tell this already. Who else are we looking at? Who else is standing at the gate?
A short distance from our previous two, you'd see what, from a distance, would look like a rather large, quite larger than you would expect it to be, tiger hunkered down in the brush as if it were about to pounce on its next prey. But as you go closer, you'd see that it's not quite exactly positioned how you would expect. Its jaw is hanging open far wider than you would think it would be possible, and its rear left leg is raised off the ground in a position that looked quite uncomfortable. And its claws are out and dug into the ground, at least for the 3 legs that are on it. And on that raised leg, you see the word dozer, which has been etched in, apparently with those self-same claws. And as you look closer to that leg, you'll see a couple of small grey paws fiddling with something out of sight. And as you see that, a very old grey cat with a scar over one eye, where a patch of fur that has long since failed to grow back, and a chunk missing from one of its ears, strolls round back out to the front of the mech as the leg swings back and forward. Very agile dodge out of the way before it nearly clunks the cat in the head. And you see him crawl over to a little device on the ground. He taps a few buttons on it, and then see the leg stop. And it swings back and forwards, and then stops again. And you see this cat, a satisfied smirk on his face, and picks the device up off the ground, slings it over his shoulder, and scampers forwards, diving into the head of the tiger as it snaps shut. Patch then hunkers down inside Dozer, in pretty much the same position that you saw Dozer in, and that leg thunk into the ground, and the tiger raises itself up, ready to defend the border as it's always done.
Fabulous.
Standing next to everybody, there is a, I think bigger than the rest of them, square legs, square arms, square head, everything. It looks almost military-esque, like a thing designed to be a weapon, like a large mech standing next to everybody. They've got arms that are meant to look like they have got hands at the end and fingers as well, but there's also what seems to be a cannon attached to one of the arms, inoperational at the moment, but it's there. And where the head is, it's glass, very solid and strong glass, but glass. And as the camera pans over to the glass, on the inside you can see a young-looking girl sitting on the inside, 19 probably at best, sort of short hair, dressed in very colorful clothing, but she's got already sort of, you can already see the bags under her eyes, and on the outside of the mech itself looks very worn, but here and there you can kind of sort of see like a sticker here and there that's sort of cute and colorful. And then if you zoom in and keep zooming in into her eye, the more you do, the closer you get, the more you realize, oh, no, she's not a girl. You start to hear more of the ticking and the sort of sounds of gears turning, of everything, of the mechanism that is that body itself, as you realize it's also a mech of its own. You zoom in, go through through the eyes, and you go to where the brain would be, and you see just a ball of slime the size of a fist with a little beetle suspended in the middle of it, sitting there, controlling the mech that is controlling the mech. And then you zoom all the way out from the beetle in the slime to the girl to the mech, and you get a big overall general look one more time at this scary looking thing.
Fabulous. So, as the four of you are gathering there, you hear a familiar buzzing. The four of you will know it very, very well. And you just see in the distance two little dealy boppers with little lights on the end coming through the woods, and you see Drone. Now, you will know Drone as one of the old survivors from the old woods. Drone is a large bumblebee-shaped mech. You see bits of honeycomb, dead honeycomb, sort of sticking out of the sort of side and thorax. The wings kind of flicker every other beat. It's definitely an old mech. He will come skidding in and sort of stop just shy of the wall, and you see that he is carrying the sapling, just sort of in his two sort of front feet. And he'll say, "Right, okay, we're heading out then. Is everyone ready? Has everyone got everything? Is everyone prepared to go over the wall?"
Are
Already?
you prepared to go over the wall?
Yes, I'm prepared to go over the wall. I think, yes.
Are you prepared for what might come?
I don't think there's any preparing for it, but yeah, it's fine.
Let's go in. There's no preparing for it. It's going to be fine.
What will come, will come.
Yeah. And we'll do what's needed to be done and whatever. And she just starts walking forward.
Dozer walks up to Drone and kind of gestures at the sapling, and the jaw slides open again. And says, "You sure don't want me to hold that?"
Oh, excellent. And he will just immediately kind of put it into your jaw space. And then we'll kind of pack it in a little bit with sort of any bits and pieces you can find to sort of, I guess, make it very secure.
Yeah, Dozer's jaw closes a lot more gently this time.
The monarch will turn to Drone and say, "Why did you choose me to come?"
Well, thought it best. There's always been the 5 of us. It seemed cruel to send one, and well, it seemed better, and well, Mother wanted the family to go out.
Many of you have always looked down upon us. It felt like we didn't bring anything to the cause.
Everyone brings something to the cycle.
We'll see what we bring.
Drone will kind of come sort of up to eye level with the monarch and looks quite intensely, even though it's through robotic eyes. You can definitely feel it. I have always believed that everyone serves a purpose. You have always stayed here when you could have left.
We have nowhere to go.
Rather the same, to be fair. Well, I guess that makes 2 of us.
Nowhere to go, nowhere to stay.
Over the wall it is.
Right. I have a small advantage, but if the 4 of you... I can't really carry you, you're all quite large, so I will... Don't die. And he'll sort of up and over the wall, and is just sort of watching and waiting.
Can we hear the noises of the kind of the noises that we've been hearing from outside? Can we hear them from this part of the wall?
I'd say so. So you can hear a lot of industry. So you know that beyond the perch is an area called the God's Grave. You know that sort of about 10 years ago it started really industrializing. It was a lot louder back then. It was the consistent sort of ostinato of a factory marching on. In recent years, it's gotten a little less on beat. I'd say in recent years, it's gotten quieter, but a lot more insistent. The skittering isn't there. You've definitely heard things trying to, I guess, climb up. You're not entirely sure that wildlife can survive out here, but it would make sense that it's probably just the wildlife making these noises.
Jim is, sorry, I should say, Judex in Mortis is an acronym that we shorten to Jim, J-I-M. Jim is reluctant to, it's not used to kind of hacking up foliage. Normally interfering with what life is doing is beyond my scope. But what is going on is beyond the scope. So to get us going on our journey, I'm going to use, I have a blade arm as part of my inventory. So from one of my tentacles, along the edge of every segment of that tentacle comes a kind of, comes out a kind of small blade, and they kind of align to be a kind of flexible blade arm. And I start to carve at this grown wall that is in front of us.
Amazing. Would you like to do the first roll of the game?
Ooh. Remind me how rolls work in 10 Candles.
Amazing. So it is 10d6s. So we are on the sort of, I guess we have 10 candles lit at the moment. So it'll be 10d6s. Any 6s are a success. All you need is 1. Any 1s are a lost dice. So if you let me know, they become mine.
Okay. That's 3 1s and several 6s.
Amazing.
Sorry, folks.
So how this works is either I can schnaffle those 1s and they become mine, or if you have any traits active, you can burn 1 and you can keep those 1s.
I don't think that my first trait is particularly relevant to this.
Amazing, no worries. So the narration rights are with you. What happens?
So this is a kind of quite it's not kind of a kind of brutal hacking. It's quite a precise kind of slicing of just individual branches here and there, just the exact right ones to make a gap big enough for, I think Dozer is probably our biggest mech, maybe.
I said the Turbo Crusher,
Oh, sorry,
did
yeah.
mention I'm quite big.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna make a gap big enough for Turbo Crusher, but no more. So like as Turbo Crusher goes through, you're probably gonna get a little bit of the kind of like scraping of wood on metal, like a bus hitting a kind of tree branches at a bus stop. But wide enough. What do we see on the other side?
So on the other side, it is dark. So Drone has his little daily bopper lights on, and they are casting a very dim light just around the area. You get the feeling as soon as you're out there that you're not alone. Not necessarily in that something is watching you, but more just in the sense of, okay, it's not desolate out here. You're not sure why, but you don't exactly feel alone. I will say though, the second you step out, you hear a series of little noises as magnets, just kitchen magnets, just click, 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 click themselves to your feet. They don't do anything.
Yeah, I head through, and Jim doesn't use like floodlights or anything like that. Jim, in the dark, uses kind of vibration sensors. And so these magnets hitting my feet kind of almost cause what we would think of as like flashes of light in our vision, because they are like tiny little impacts all over my sensitive feet. So this is immediately disconcerting. I think I kind of wobble, not as if I'm going to fall over, but just out of surprise. I settle. And do I detect any movement other than these magnets on my feet?
Not at the moment. So all you feel is this, and Drone will come a little bit closer at seeing you wobble, and just, you all right? Everything okay? You went a little bit strange there.
Yes, just not used to things touching my feet.
Oh, well.
I'll open a channel to the whole group and say, it seems clear for now. Although anyone with
The Turbo Crusher comes through and bumps into you at the back of you. Jeez. Move ahead.
Sorry, these magnets are playing havoc with my senses.
Oh, and I'm gonna, the cannon that doesn't work anymore has been repurposed into a storage little rectangle box. So I pop the top of it open, and I pull out a magnet of my own out of my. You can see there's a bunch of spare parts in that little box, and then I just sort of. And can I pick up all the magnets that have been stuck to Jim's feet?
I'd say so, yeah.
All right.
This is a horribly disorienting and uncomfortable experience, but when it's over, it's over.
Right. Okay.
Does anyone have long-range detection?
And when Jim says that, those are kind of inches forward a bit and just hunkers down a bit and looks at the magnets, tilts his head a bit, and then rears back onto his haunches, and you can see those pistons in his legs working, and a kind of rumbling sound and a hiss as a gout of steam come out both as he leaps up towards the top of the wall. And gingerly, well, I suppose we hope gingerly lands atop it and looks out over the vast darkness. And if you're looking closely, you see that his ruby eyes begin to glow a little bit as he starts to activate infrared detectors in his eyes. Does he see anything further out from the vantage point he's on?
So, I guess for maybe about a quarter of a mile, you see woodland, the same as what you've gotten used to. Unlike still within the perch, it is completely bereft of leaves. It is almost as though it's been burned out. Beyond that, though, you see God's grave. It is a lot of factory buildings. It is very busy by the looks of things. You see things moving around. You see boxes and crates shifting. It looks more or less how it did in its heyday. You can't really get enough detail to see who's moving it, who's shifting it, but there is definitely something going on over there.
Those all just call down to the group. Nothing in between here and the factory. There's a lot of work going on over there. I can't see what, but it's just empty.
And our journey takes us beyond the grave.
You're sure it's safe to leave?
No.
Well,
safer than staying here.
there was that big bang. Not the big bang. The one a few weeks ago.
I appreciate the honesty.
Oh, we're all stuck in this together.
There's a kind of after kind of surveying, just kind of jumps back down on the wall and lands next to Jim, and kind of scans Jim up and down, looks at the magnets over their feet, and like, "You okay there, pal?"
It was a shock at first, but I feel the majority of the magnets have been removed for now. Can we see other is it like carpeted with magnets, or where did these magnets come from?
It looks almost as though someone's grabbed a handful or two of them and just chucked them out. Sort of, I'd say like every other maybe meter around the kind of wall. It doesn't go on very deeply, it's just random handfuls. I think you just struck sort of slightly unlucky.
It could be some sort of security system to see, like, has somebody come through this area or something.
At this moment, as you are all talking about this, inside the mech, Zig and Zag will be having a bit of a like back and forth with a lever. One of them said, "No, it's this way. It's this way." Another will, like, trying to pull it back. They have a squabble for a little bit, and then you'll watch as the lever breaks, and the rat just runs forward ahead past the group.
I was going to say we take a wide berth around the factory, but I suppose we're going.
Monarch! I was gonna be first, and Turbo Crusher starts running.
You'll hear the voice say, like, "I am not in control of my actions."
Cool.
Are you ever?
Sorry.
I'll turn to the drone at this point and say, "You see what I mean?"
Jim goes into a kind of a quadrupedal mode to try and catch up with the monarch. So all 4 robo tentacles are moving this skull along the ground. Very creepy.
So Drone is trying to keep up with the monarch. I'm going to say, could I get a roll to see if you can get maybe back in control of the mech?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any type of help action in this game?
No.
It's
And
more
can
fun
I-
without it.
Help is not coming.
What about with flavor? Can I offer up spare parts?
If we can stop the monarch in a
Yes,
safe way.
In a safe way.
I have 3 ones,
Okay.
Jesus.
no 6s.
Uh-oh.
Okay. How do you want to play this? We can either try and get a reroll on the ones, so if you wanted to burn one of your traits, or we can hop through.
I'd rather keep my traits for later when they might be more needed.
Amazing. Okay. So this takes us to the truths. So this is one of my favorite parts of 10 Candles. We will be going around and essentially establishing what happens next. So I will start with the world is dark, and then as we're on the 10th session, or as we're on the 10 candles at the moment, we will get 10 truths around the table, ending with, and we are alive. I feel like trying to coordinate getting 5 people to say the last bit might be a little bit difficult, so I may just say it. So the truths can be anything. The truths can be what's happening next. It can be what happens to your character. It's essentially a way of getting through the story without needing to roll. If that sounds cool for everyone. And we will start with Sam, as it was your sort of role, if that's cool. Amazing. So, the world is dark. Sam, what happens next?
The leg malfunctions and Cheddar dies.
Okay. Cool. So we'll run around the table. So, Shaggy, what happens next?
Everybody starts trying to run to keep up.
Khalil, what happens next?
As we get closer to God's grave, we start to get kind of small glimpses of light through the trees, but not enough to properly see.
Cool. You notice that there have been last-ditch lights that have been set up, but you're not entirely sure what they are. They just glow in intensity all the way across God's grave. Chris, what happens next?
Our footfalls are heavy, and someone at the factory heard us. Or something.
Ooh, I like that one. Sam, what happens next?
Drone will be next to go.
Next to go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Shaggy, what happens next?
In its death, Drone's mech blows up, and besides paying a whole lot of attention to us, it hurts Turbo Crusher's side of the mech a little bit.
Cool. Khalil.
We, with the monarch's leg malfunctioning, our pace is slower, but we're moving together.
What's my last one? So I'm going to say you start seeing figures moving around. You're not entirely sure what they are, but there's definitely something. And then Chris, last one.
With the monarch's damaged leg, Dozer can move faster and is now in front.
And we are alive. So,
And we're alive.
to set the scene a little bit, you rush into God's Grave. It is a dimly lit area. There are spots where people have tried to keep fires stoked. There are areas where, I guess, last little bits of solar lights have been hung up in some sort of bid to keep the light going. Drone was trying his very best to keep up with the monarch. All you heard was a single snapshot shell, and then he fell with quite the incredulous bang.
Drone.
I was as I was running, I was next to him. He's gone. He's and I point to like a charred area of the metal on my right arm as there was an explosion, and he's gone now. So he's gone.
And so it goes. There is no time to recycle. We must move.
So, can I ask, is the monarch still moving out of control, or did that damage to it stop it?
The inside of this mech, this lever had completely broken, and we'll watch as the arm of this lever flies through the air, and at the other side, a small rat that was looking at plans is hit over the side of the head. And with that, Whiskers, who operates the voice, will turn and will press an emergency stop button, bringing the whole thing to a kind of clatter. Will turn to his brothers and say, "What is going on? We've lost one. Don't you remember what happened to Shadow?" As the two brothers zig and zag, one collects the arm and one covers the brother. And another two, Pip and Scamp, will come over and start to like refix the lever back into place. It's not quite fully attached.
But seeing Monarch kind of screech or grind to a halt so suddenly, you'll get a transmission over the radio. Monarch, it's not safe. There's no time to stand still. We must keep moving.
Don't push me. We've just lost one of our own.
Don't make me push you.
Who? Monarch? Who was it?
Brother Cheddar has gone.
Right.
Dozer walks over to where we saw the rat hit the ground, and just places its paw on the ground and presses down, making an indentation in the ground, and retracts all of its claws but one, and just carves the name Cheddar into the ground, and lifts its hand up again, and then turns back to Mark and the Turbo Crusher and Jim, says, "Yeah, we got to keep moving." And
Let's go.
Running off towards. Well, I think it's choosing not to run towards where we saw figures moving in the factory, but is kind of trying to skirt around to the sides, like following around maybe like a border, or there's a fence around the factory or something like that, to try and get a better look at what we're dealing with without getting closer to it.
Just before we run off, well, maybe when Turbo and Dozer have just started on that scamper, I assume Monarch is not quick to get moving. Jim, you'll get another transmission on the private channel saying, "We apologize for the abruptness. We offer the right of recycling to your brother." And a little hatch opens in the side of the skull.
We'll send him. And
It will be done.
in a blanket, 2 of the rats leave, pass it over, and then leave.
The hatch closes, and as we move off to follow the other mechs, anyone looking closely would see that same hatch open again and an empty blanket just fly out. No rat.
Can we go now? Can we go?
I think
Alright.
as you're moving, the approach into God's grave was not quiet. It definitely attracted attention. Is anyone keeping an eye out? I guess
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm keeping my sensors open for whatever killed Drone.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I do. I've got like a little thing from I think inside, because it's glass and I've got light in the mech, then it's like shining through. It's glass.
I think probably just on the edges of what you can see where the light is, you see something shift and then retract. It doesn't look like something solid. It looks almost akin to... Do you know when you're moving like little pieces of iron under a magnet and they shift and they switch? It looks almost like that, as though there was something there and then it's pulled away again.
Can I, because I sort of, I guess maybe if I see it, can I like immediately try to hold out my hand and shoot out one of my needle pins through my finger on it to try to like catch it in place?
However, it doesn't hit anything. You just hear it,
Right.
and it goes straight into the grass.
And I get closer to look at it, and there's nothing. I don't see anything near it. I collect the needle and put it back. Did you see that? What was that?
I didn't read it on my vibration sensors.
Oh, vibration sensors. Open the window sometimes.
It doesn't really work like that. We don't have eyes. But did you loosed your weapon? Did you hit something?
It was I don't even know what it was. It was just in the dark. It was just for a moment. It was just something. It was almost like liquid, but it moved so fast. Honestly, if I wasn't so sure that I saw something, I would have thought that it was just in my head. Which is a bit of a weird sentence, but you get what I mean.
That is concerning.
I was so fast. I always catch it, but it went away. I don't know what it was. There's nothing here.
Let me take a look. And Dozer's going to look at where the needle landed and kind of around that area, the same sensors as before. See if we can catch any other movement, because it saw a lot of movement around this area in Gosgrove before. So,
Can I put one of the magnets on my foot? like a bunch of the magnets on my feet. Because so if anything catches on the magnets of my feet later, like if there's any metal or anything that we walk near.
And then, so Dozy, you were going for a scan. I would say if we treat this a bit like a perception roll, so if you give me a little roll for that to see what you see.
Sure. How many do we have at the moment?
So there's 9 in your dice pool.
Yes, because we will. Yeah. Okay, that is 3 1s, 3 6s.
Amazing. Cool. So I'm going to say you have narration rights on this. What do you see?
Thinking about the way that Turbokrusher described it, it's almost like every time I move the sensors to a position, exactly that happens. There's something there, disappears. Like I'm seeing something in my peripheral vision constantly, and I can never quite catch a glimpse of it. But after doing this for a while, and it might even look a bit strange, Dozer's head kind of moving all over the place, trying to catch sight of something. You see Dozer stop as he realizes that every time these shapes are disappearing out of his vision, they're all going into the same place. Looking at this building in front of them is an open doorway.
Cool. So you can see within the doorway it's pretty dark, but as you've been focused on these shapes, you hear a shout from behind you. It is a shorter woman, dressed in, I guess, what would be kind of factory scrubs.
A woman,
And-
not somebody in a mech.
No, just a woman. And she'll
Okay.
shout, "You can't be out here! Inside!" And she's carrying a massive lantern.
Can we take that?
I'd rather you didn't.
Why
Alright.
can't we be out here? And why can you be out here?
Oh, I'm not meant to be out here either. I'm just trying to get you indoors. Please?
Why can't we be here? Why can't all of us, including you, be here?
There is something out there. I don't know what it is. You're maybe safer in those, but I don't think you should be out there.
Is inside safe?
Inside's easier to light.
Is there anyone else in there with you?
It's just me at the minute. Everyone else is gone. They've either forgotten or they've gone.
Forgotten?
They keep forgetting. I don't know what it is. They just move and walk and things come when it's dark. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on my own here.
You are no longer
Let's-
on your own.
Thank you.
Let's go inside.
I'll look to the others and say, is that a good idea? We have a job to do, don't we?
Inside is on the way across the grave.
Is it not?
It's a
I agree, but we
description.
can't stay here.
No,
Inside, we are trapped. Out here, at least we can run.
Is the inside area not? Is there a way to go around it instead on our way to where
Yeah.
we're going?
Yeah. So it is a big open space. She has appeared from. It's almost like a loading bay. You can see inside. It is brightly lit. There is a fire going. It is belching smoke. Just try and keep this place lit.
So we've gone through the burnt kind of woodland area and we're now in the built up
Yeah.
area.
Or just on the sort of edges of it.
Okay. Why is light important?
If I knew the answer, I'd tell you.
What are you
There's-
going to do if you're here right now? How can you leave? Why are you alone here still?
I think I'm the last.
We are the last.
I will look to Dozer specifically and say, I agree we can't stay here. I recommend we don't go inside and we just leave. Take the light if we must.
Dozer will kind of eye the monarch and turn towards this woman and walk over slowly and say, we cannot stay, but you can come with us.
Okay, that's fine. I just need a way out of here, and I just don't want to be on my own.
Dozer then kind of nods and gestures to the lantern and says, I often take the lead in this group. May I hold it?
Oh, it's not for leading. It keeps them out.
Keeps what out?
I don't know.
I think if she knew, she would tell us.
Does this mean that we should act? It sounds like we should all activate our external lamps. Those of us who have them.
If you have them, definitely. There's you kind of see them. If you go out and you turn all of your lights off and just have a smaller one, you see things in the distance. It's like a shadow and
Like liquid.
like liquid.
Was this the entity you fired upon?
Me? It might have been. Chances are, yes. Have you been able to get a closer look at it? Is it always just sort of scurrying off in the shadows after half a second? It's gone.
As soon as you put the light on it, yes, but I've seen it come for people in the night. Well, it's always night.
So when it's dark, it'll stay there for long. Okay.
We have finite battery and no sunlight to recharge our cells. We should move.
Okay. I can guide you the ways I know, but
How far does this complex go?
oh, it's a good few miles. They really started to build it up a few years ago.
And we move swiftly.
Dozer gestures to his back and looks at the woman again, kind of a bit closer, and says, may I carry you?
Don't mind. I won't slow you down, right?
You will not.
Please.
We can move faster than you.
She'll kind of clutches the lantern close and will hop on.
Dozer looks around and says, right, we're ready?
Let's move.
Yeah.
So you see around you, it is a sprawling complex of lots of little buildings. It looks kind of like an industrial estate, but times who knows how much. Very, very far in the distance, Dozy, you might be able to catch that there is the still smoking remains of a building. It's almost as though it hasn't stopped, even after however long. Who is taking point?
Dozer, I think, said that they wanted to lead.
Yeah, I guess just because to navigate through the complex, this woman would know. Well, I guess then we would figure she'd know the route through. So I'll take her with the lantern in front to begin with.
Cool. And then I guess in a similar question, who is going to be at the back?
I have a bad leg now.
Cool. I feel really mean. Could you give us a roll?
Me? Of course.
Yes. You
So-
hear an almighty crack, similar to the one that took down Drone.
We have 6 dice, right?
Yes.
We've lost 3.
If you've lost 3, isn't that 7 then?
No, because when we move to the next scene, we lose a dice permanently that goes to
from the
Magpie.
pool.
Oh, so I need to lose a die.
Yep.
I haven't even rolled once yet.
I have 1 6 and 1 1.
Cool, cool. So I got no 6s. So what happens? You hear an almighty crack.
I feel only I hear it, and turn around to look, and see something disappear behind a building. I'm not sure what I see, but the curiosity takes a little bit more than perhaps the flight does, and so I stop as the others keep walking.
Cool.
Hello?
Get
Anyone there?
I turn around as I hear Monarch call out for something.
So you get no reply. But what does happen is, as the light starts to drift away, you start to feel small contacts hitting at the back of your legs. It's a strange sensation. It feels, again, magnetic, but it doesn't feel as though it is the little magnets that kind of stuck themselves to Jim earlier. It feels almost as though something is trying to coat your legs and get into it.
I'll take my small rat-like hands and try to feel to see what is there.
Again, it feels almost like iron filings.
What is this? And then Whiskers will call back to Sprocket and say, "Can you scan to see what that is? I can't feel what it is." Yes, brother, and we'll initiate a scan.
Cool. I will say, before you manage to get the scan done, what is an important memory to any of the members of the Monarch?
I feel the birth of Cheddar, who was the youngest of the group.
In future days, you'll try and recall that. Try and maybe find solace or comfort in it, but it's gone.
Well, it seems to be some sort of iron material. Huh. Interesting.
Do we see all this?
You probably see kind of the Monarch reacting, but before anyone can get close, the filings have dropped away. They have almost deactivated.
Mm-hmm. You okay?
Something has attached itself to my legs, and I feel odd. No.
Then I'd like to walk closer to you.
I'd stay with the group. It's fine. I will be right there.
Monarch? Okay, then come here, so I can be sure.
I am coming. I was just checking what was here. Why do you care?
Why do I care?
Yes.
What's going on? Why are you still? Why aren't you coming forward?
I saw something.
One of those things.
I don't know.
What did it look like?
I don't know. I just saw something move.
Can you move?
I can move.
Can you move now?
Yes, I'm coming.
Is he coming? Are you coming?
Yes.
As this argument's going on, you see, coming from the side of a building, definitely one of these iron filing figures. It is perhaps 7 or 8 feet tall, again, shifting as though it is iron filings under a magnet. It seems to regard you and then move on.
Regard who? Was that regard the two of us or regard two of us.
Sorry, what is this that is regarding us again?
It's a large sort of, I guess, amorphous shape, around sort of 7 feet tall. It moves similar to how iron filings move, I guess, under a magnet.
For reference, how tall are our mechs?
I think we were saying a little bit bigger than humans.
Gotcha.
That sounds cool.
Mine's
So it's
probably
about on par.
Mine's probably about 7 feet, 8 feet tall.
That didn't seem to be threatening. It had a quick look and then left.
Has it fully gone now?
Yeah, it sort of regarded you, and then moved on background into the distance.
Hello? As my voice echoes.
No.
I think we should catch up with the group, don't you?
All right. I do hold out my foot to see if the whatever is attached to his leg.
Please don't touch me.
Sorry, I just wanted to help. Sorry.
You know what happened the last time you got too close. Don't do it again.
That was a long time ago, Monarch. I'm sorry. Just let's catch up, okay?
We're a family. We don't forget things.
Yeah, well, whatever. Just come on.
Cut into
Yes,
the forward pair. Jim opens a channel for Dozer. Says, "We detect only 2 pairs. Sorry, we detect only 2 vehicles in the proximity. It appears that Turbo and Monarch have fallen behind. At least they have light."
When Mendoza hears that, you can see we go inside and you can see Patch clacking away at that little control panel he was carrying that's now attached to the mech. And Dozer stops in place and turns around so its neck is facing back the way, and the drawer opens again, and you see a little grey cat face look out, and figuring that Patch actually sees better in the dark than Dozer does. And kind of scans around and like looks over at Jim and is like, I turn my head for 10 seconds and our group is in half again. I'm just glad that one of us is on the ball, Jim.
We have a duty. And you
Yes,
are
duty.
carrying that
Duty. We do. Yeah, I understand, Jim. Let's go and get them back, and then we can talk about our duty later on once we're out of this place. Okay?
Are you two arguing again?
Let's
Where
just
are
walk.
you?
Let's just walk. I'm sorry we were filled behind. Let's just keep walking, okay? It's
Where
fine.
are
Nothing
you,
happened.
Monarch?
We're coming
feel-
now. We just saw something move in the darkness. Nothing to worry about.
It's just one of those things. Nothing happened. We weren't able to catch it. Doesn't matter. So let's just keep walking. We'll catch up. Just walk slowly, all right? It's fine.
That sounds like something we should be worried about.
No,
Yeah, well, we are worried. So
They maintained the light bubble. Let us proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dozer's jaw snaps shut again. Patch gets back into place, and Dozer's head spins back round in front, and just you can almost see the mech kind of tense up and relax as he waits for the others to catch them up.
we'll catch up quite quickly, I think.
So this was all going on over kind of Loudhailer. This wasn't going on sort of within sort of like the in-suit comms, or was this going on?
probably comms, but we were
Yeah,
catching
but I
up.
imagine we have like a channel that we can all hear, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cool. No worries.
Except, obviously, when we're talking to our human.
Yeah, she looked absolutely horrified at just having a cat face.
Did
there.
she not like? Was she not like, "Hey guys, the other two just because she can
She's-
see everything."
He's probably just taking it all in. It's a lot.
Yeah.
She's had
Yeah,
a day.
she just seems freaked out. Like she's kind of accepting what's going on.
Probably
She's
just thinks we
been-
know what we're doing, trusting us.
Absolutely. Like she said a few times, like, so you've come from the Perch. You traveled from the Perch.
Affirmative.
So that means that things are going badly.
Unsustainably.
Oh, that'll be this. Right.
Our mission is to locate a new sanctuary and establish a new perch.
Right.
What is
Okay.
your designation?
Oh, name? My name.
Our
My na-
designation is Jim. What is
I'm
your
Kelly.
designation?
Kelly. I don't fully know my way around. I might have old maps, perhaps. Does anyone have any way of uploading them?
Uploading maps.
Yes. And she'll kind of pull out a key pass. It had a lot of the old stuff on it, but I can't read it. I don't have a computer anymore.
All right, give me.
Cool.
And I open the little window where you can like hand it over.
Cool. She will hand it over.
And from the glass, you'll see that like in my little seat, a little thing will come up that's like a keyboard, and then like a whatever keyboard, and then I'll plug it whatever you handed me into my mech and start doing stuff.
Cool. Could I get a little roll to see if you managed to successfully upload?
Only one scene has passed. We've only lost one die from a
But
scene.
we
so far?
continue to lose dice for every one that we roll.
So you're rolling 5, I think, now.
And then in the next scene, it'll reset to 8.
Oh, right. It's 5 then. All right. I haven't rolled a single time so far, but yeah. Two 6s and a 1.
Okie dokie. No worries. So I will say you still have narration rights. Because I got a grand total of 1. So what happens?
Okay, I'll plug it in. I'll beep boop it out, and then I'll change it so that glass in front of me it changes to the map that is meant to be shown. So where my head is, you can't see my head unless you like squint a little and like do this sort of thing. Then you can maybe see my head, but otherwise it's the map.
So
on the
you get
glass.
a rough view of the general area. It's definitely not in date. It is an older map, but it does show the original kind of footprints of the building.
What does it show where the smoldering remains of a building are?
So that one, it is just a regular footprint by the looks of things. It just looks like a plain building, but it definitely looks as though it's a newly added one, at least on the out-of-date maps.
And I'll also ping like a thing that shows where we are on the map, if I'm allowed.
I think at this point, Kelly will kind of try and lean over to see, but you see that she looks just as lost as the rest of you. She'll say,
Okay, can I try to figure out? Actually, can I stand in front, Dozer? Since I can sort of see the map in front of me, can I walk in front so you don't have to keep looking over at me? Or can I just send the file over to everybody so everyone's got the map?
I would appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Well, now we know directions we're going. Shall we move quicker?
Yes,
Please?
now everyone's back. Yes,
Together.
let's move.
cool. Who would like to take the onus of navigating a route mapping? Because I am going to ask for a roll for that.
I feel like
I'm
as a
going
bunch
to
of
try, but I don't know if other people are going to stop me.
Are you just
Um,
going?
I think. Oh, I'm walking faster then. I'm like way ahead. I'm like, can we please just go? Can we just go, Monarch?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, other people try also.
So I'm going to say if Monarch and Turbo Crusher are both going ahead, could I get a roll from each of you? That'll be, I'll say, because we're doing it at the same time, 4 dice each.
So sorry. If I got a 1 before, that means I've lost a die.
Everyone. does.
Everyone.
The whole pool loses a die.
Got it.
And I will be really mean because I know we're going quite slowly. If there are 2 failures, we will put out 2 candles.
That's neither 6s nor 1s.
Cool.
No 6s, no 1s.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have no 6s and no 1s.
Okay. No worries. So, does anyone want to try and burn any traits, or do we want to just
No.
go wild?
Can I burn a trait? Oh no, go ahead.
Not-
Sorry.
I'd like to burn my first trait. Do we tell people what we're burning?
Yes. So what I'll say is, we will go ahead with the truths first, and then we'll go ahead with a success, or we'll re-roll with yours in a second if that works for you.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, actually, did you get no 1s?
I got no 1s, no 6s.
I don't think you can roll. Hang on. No, so a trait can be burned to re-roll all dice that come as a 1. So I think that would be 2.
2. What do you mean 2?
Sorry, no, that would be with darkening 2 candles. So you can't re-roll if there are no 1s to re-roll, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So I'll do 1 truths, but I'll darken 2 candles, if that's cool. So I'll put us
Yeah,
down
that's
to
fine.
7.
One
Cool.
thing, I believe Khalil burned a trait earlier, and we never heard what you didn't. But you were gonna, but you changed your mind then.
It wasn't really relevant.
Got it.
Okie dokie. So we will establish the truths. So it was technically both of you. Sam and Shaggy, if you roll a die, whoever gets the higher will start.
Alright. That's a 3.
It's a 4.
Cool. Okay, so we'll start with the main truth. The world is dark. Sam, what happens?
A storm begins.
Ooh, okay. Shaggy, what happens?
In their competitive spirit of trying to stay up ahead, they don't notice Dozer coming past both of them.
Cool. Khalil, what happens?
This storm is not just kind of normal kind of water and stuff. It's whipping up debris in the winds that is kind of clattering against our shells.
I'm going to say in the distance, in the very far distance at the eye of the storm, you start seeing something horrifically huge growing up from the ground. Chris, what happens next?
In the cover from the storm, we don't notice that there is a 5th figure in our group that had followed us from the building.
Ooh, Sam, what happens?
The figure attacks one of us.
Oh my god. Shaggy, what happens? Last one.
It's Jim. Jim's the last one behind, so the figure attacks Jim. I'm sorry.
And we are alive.
We're alive
Oh my gosh.
for now.
Can I open up? Oh god, do I have anything I can do actually? I was gonna be like, can I open up like a umbrella from the top of my head for? Oh wait, no, sorry. The lady is sitting on top of Dozer, so never mind. I can't even do that. Do I have a piece of cloth I can hand it to her, or? anything?
Nah, it's miserable. She's getting soaked with
Yeah,
rain.
she's kind of hunkered down. She's sort of pulled her like little collar up, and that's the best she can do.
She's getting battered with bits of like masonry and gravel and stuff.
Yeah,
like
she's having a bad day.
this is a horrible storm. So what am I being attacked by?
Cool. So, I mean, it's not cool. There is. It's
Also,
a little
it'd be
bit cool.
6. No, 5.
Hmm?
Oh god, don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it.
No worries. So it is an electrical storm. You start seeing electrical spikes start shattering down, forming little sort of fulgurites where you least expect it. And coming up behind you, a mix of these same flints, shying away from the light, but seemingly hell bent on getting towards you guys. You start to see a dark figure.
And I
It's
don't
this-
have lights.
No. You start to feel similar before to when the metallic clanging started happening from the little magnets on your feet. You started feeling it. This feels all encompassing. This starts to feel overwhelming on your foot senses. And I think that's where we're going to take a break. Thank you.
Oh no!
Oh no! Hello, folks. Welcome back. So, where we last left off, we were having a little bit of a situation. Definitely not a good situation. So, Jim was somewhat being blighted by some of our little ferrous creatures that decided to come and sneak up their leg. We have a storm going on in the background, and everything is perhaps not great. So, Jim, the last you felt, there is something crawling its way up your leg, up your sort of like back legs. You can feel it pinging off the sensors. What would be a memory that you hold dear?
Jim is not a sentimental collective of worms. They don't experience they don't experience emotions in the same way that a lot of the other pilots probably do. But a memory that is completely core to their identity and to their relationship with the world and with duty is the first time they ever saw a dead body. And for a lot of people, that would be a traumatic event. But this was shortly after they had been kind of assigned this mech and this role in the Haven to oversee and protect the cycle of life and death. And so seeing this, I mean, it wasn't the first dead body that they'd ever seen, but it was the first dead body that they'd seen since taking on this role. And seeing death beget life, seeing it decomposing and returning to the soil to feed other organisms is a memory they hold very dear.
Okay, so as the collective begins to feel little sort of specks of what feels like metal creeping into the joints of sort of your mech, you lose a grasp on that memory. At first, you know that there is some relationship that you have with death, that there is some relationship that you have with the natural cycle of death. And then a few moments later, you're not entirely certain how you ended up here. You're not completely sure why this memory, or why the gap this memory leaves, is there.
I think this comes as almost like an electric shock or something. There's because Jim felt the magnets bumping onto their feet as they first left the Haven, and that was uncomfortable and disconcerting. But this is to a completely other level. And I think there's just kind of like the cognitive equivalent of like a flashbang, basically, like a blinding white flash in the kind of wormy brain gestalt inside the mech. The tentacles stumble, the skull head kind of tips over and scrapes along through the rubble and the dirt. You can see that the word Eudex from the Eudex in Mortis kind of name on the face gets somewhat scuffed. And the worms get shaken around inside, and it's kind of disarray in what used to be order. And as they start to resettle, something's missing. Is this creature still, like, on me?
Yeah, so you can definitely feel as though it is clambering up. It is trying to get as deep as it can into you.
Who's around me?
I believe you made a sound when it first started attacking you, didn't you?
I didn't make a
Like
sound like over the comms, but you might have heard
I would
of me slamming into the ground.
I would have heard all of this and turned around, presumably? Question mark? Yeah? Alright.
Okay.
I think I probably would have as well, being
Yeah,
a
because
collection of rats.
Also, because you had been at the back, hadn't you?
the
Because
two
you
of
had
us
been
were
checking out the other rust creature. So seeing that I'm not completely alone here, but I am kind of a straggler, I will send out a message to the others being like, caution, danger, kind of faultingly, and I'm going to try to free myself from this thing somehow.
I'm gonna turn around and shoot at them with my finger needles.
I think I would also be trying to like grab at it to push it away.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do this in
Divide
order.
and conquer.
I'll get the three of you to roll at the same time. But then we will go Jim first and then sort of the other two at the same time. If that sounds like a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't think Jim's thinking straight. I think they're just going to flail.
Okay. Do you want to roll for that or?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll to panic.
My highest is a 4. I got no 1s.
Okay, so no 6s.
No 6s. So
Okay.
I flail to no effect.
Okay.
You see a giant mechanical skull with 4 tentacles just trying to flail its way out. But it's like trying to escape from custard.
Okay. So what I will do in that case is, if we're happy with this, if we run through the truths for Jim and then roll through you two. We have 7 this time, so we will start, Khalil, with you. So these things are true. The world is dark. Khalil, what happens?
As Jim is trying to crawl away from this creature, the creature kind of gets stretched.
I'm going to say that lightning starts to strike all around. The storm that has been boiling over for the last sort of few minutes or so has hit a crescendo, and it is absolutely over you. You start to feel the ground begin to shake with the force of it, and with the rain that comes alongside it, any fires that had been burning, any light that had been off in the area, apart from the ones on yourselves, goes out. Chris, what happens next?
Between the creature attacking Jim and the strikes of lightning from the storm, Kelly, who had been hiding under Dozer from the rain, panics and flees back the way we came with the lantern.
Okay. Sam, what happens next?
Kelly will not make it to where she's going.
I was gonna kill her.
I think it's 2 for 2 on Sam killing my NPC. Shaggy, what happens next?
I think as she's running back, with the worst luck possible, the lightning strikes exactly where she steps a foot, and we see her for a moment standing upright before she falls down completely.
Okay. Khalil, what happens next?
The creature is also struck by lightning.
Ooh. And with that being the last one, and we're alive.
And we're alive.
Dun, dun, dun. And we're down one. Okie doke. So, Turbo and Monarch, what do you want to do?
Finger needles. I'm gonna.
Okie doke. So, the creature is now sort of spluted flat, and also electrified. You can see it shaking and shimmering.
Yeah, so I think because Monarch said that he wants to like pull at the creature, yeah. I think I'd like to shoot in the middle of it, in a sort of straight vertical line. So I tried to maybe separate it or something, like split it in half.
Okay.
So that it's easier to and then once Monarch starts pulling, maybe then it'll be able to, split in half.
Amazing.
How many dice do I roll for this?
You roll 6, please.
I roll 6. Thank you. Oh, that's 4 1s and 2 2s. Could I delete a part of my personality, please?
You are absolutely welcome to.
Thank you.
Which one would you like to burn? Why?
First in line. Khalil, we have the same one. Except you're generous and I'm overly generous. So I'd like to burn that one.
Amazing.
And so I shall be no longer that. How does this work? What do I do?
So your 4 1s. If you want to grab them and re-roll them.
Oh yeah. Yes,
And
please.
if we get any 6s, we continue. If we get no 6s, we do the truths again.
And what are you doing that is overly generous in this moment?
Yes.
These were the last of my needles. No longer needles.
Oh no.
That's bad, actually. That's kind of big weapon of mine. But I'll figure it out because I'm overly generous.
I'm going to say that previously, you've kind of been able to retrieve some of them, but this time with the electrified states of these strange little ferrous fibers that are kind of mooching around the place, they are completely kaput.
I've got 1 6.
Fabulous. I've also got 1 6. So I think narration rights fall to me. I'm very sorry. I'm the worst. So you have a please cut here line down the middle of this, like Cassandra-esque.
Punch holes into it.
Like toilet paper.
Exactly like toilet paper. Thank you.
It's the Andrex puppy all over again. Fabulous. Okay. So I'm going to say that then, so you shoot off sort of like through your fingers, and each one kind of goes doop, 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 and perfectly perforates this thing. Monarch, what are you doing?
As the needles perforate in, I'm trying to just push this thing back off of Jim. So we'll just watch as my left hand will push towards it and try to shove it backwards.
Amazing. You've said my favorite word in the whole entire world. Could you roll for that, please?
I can indeed. 1 6 1 1.
Cool. Hang on. Do you want to do anything with that one, or do you want to keep as it is?
No, I don't want to waste anything just now. No.
Amazing. I got 2 2s, a 3, and a 4. So what happens?
I reach out this left hand and start to push against this individual, and I think, as previously upon touching it, there's parts of this rust will start to, or iron will start to move around the metallic hand of this giant rat. And you watch as it moves inside to where Sprocket is operating the controls for this hand. We'll watch as the iron comes closer, starts to wrap itself around the controls, wide eyes on the small little rat as he begins to be strangled by this iron and falls limp to the floor. And from the outside, what everyone will see is just this pushing hand crumpling on itself.
What is a memory that the monarch had of Sprocket?
Was always the bravest, the first to always put themselves in danger ahead of everybody else. And they've done it many times in the past.
So I think from the outside you see this claw kind of come in on itself, but within the monarch it's a slightly different vibe. Sort of those around Sprocket will sort of look down a moment as this is happening. And there's a recognition at first. There is, oh, I've seen your face in a crowd. There's, oh, like I'm pretty sure we've met. And slowly but surely it's, well, how did you get in here? And why is there a body in our mech? What's going on? It's a collective loss.
Whiskers will look around and look at the stranger and say, "Who's that? Who let them in here? No, they don't belong here. Who let them in?" And the others will all shrug and say, "It wasn't me. No, I didn't let them in, Whiskers, I promise. We'll get them out." And Zig and Zag will run over and grab this body and throw it out into the rain before it stops.
Okay. I think just to pop over to Dozer for a second, you saw, as the lightning struck, a single outline silhouetted as Kelly darted out from under you. She was lit up, sort of, I guess, as a skeleton for like a few short seconds and then crumpled to the ground. There was no time for a scream, there was no sound for anything. You just see her up 1 minute, down the next. And then right next to you, you see all of this going on. You see Jim is down and scrabbling to get up. You see all of this going on with the monarch. What are you doing?
So after the monarch pushed onto the creature, what state is it in now? Where exactly is it? Is it still slightly attached to monarch, or has it been pushed
So
off?
it is still trying to get a hold of monarch, and then this other slightly smaller half that's been created looks as though it is trying to make its way to Turbo.
When Kelly darts off, Dozer kind of leaps around and is about to start chasing after her when he sees her get struck by lightning, and just stops dead in his tracks and turns back to see the hand of Monarch being crushed and the little body being thrown out. Dozer then very heavily slams a paw into the earth and uses one of his claws to write the word Sprocket underneath it. Then hunkers down and, uncharacteristically for those who spent time around Dozer, snarls and charges towards Monarch and leaps at the creature and attempts to pull it at speed with momentum off of Monarch.
So if you could roll for me, please, Chris.
And that's with
5.
now, yeah?
5.
Yes. We're finally getting even.
That is 1611.
Okie dokie. That is 3 6s, a 5, and a 1. I'm very sorry. So, I'm going to say that these two, like, newly formed creatures, still flattened out, still sort of slightly, I guess, erratic from the lightning strike, both seem to turn their attentions on Dozer. One pulling away from Turbo, and one having somewhat satiated itself from Monarch, will start to kind of two-pronged attack, and will start to slowly start making their way towards Dozer. I will say, for the four of you, the lights have gone a little bit dimmer. You are feeling your engines, your batteries begin to deplete.
Can I do something?
Go for it.
So I was touching. Jim was in contact with the iron creature when it was struck by lightning. So they are like all sorts of messed up in terms of like their circuitry and stuff. And so now just kind of wobbling to their feet, turn around unsteadily and see these now two creatures closing in on Dozer. And nothing we do to fight these things seems to work. All of our conventional violence is just hurting us and making them stronger. So I'm gonna give of myself. Like even with my slightly fractured memories and relationship with my duty of life and death, this is the biomass that I store in my kind of in the mech that's undergoing the ritual of recycling is still very precious, and it will be very precious if we get to a new haven. But I'm just gonna jettison some. I'm gonna spray it at these creatures from a kind of exhaust nozzle, and hopefully try to like gunk them up so that they are not this kind of like floaty, amorphous, intangible thing. And we'll see what that does to them. And this is gonna be a sacrifice.
Okay, no worries. So if you could give us a roll for that, please.
Ooh. 3 ones. I'm going to burn my virtue, which is my generosity.
Okay.
Because this is a sacrifice. I'm giving of my biomass of the only biomass that we're carrying apart from the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's 1 6 and no ones.
Ooh, hold on. That is 3 2s, a 1, a 4, and a 5. So what happens?
As I'm kind of stumbling to my feet, I'm aware that there's kind of malfunctions going on across the mech. And so I'm kind of rooting through what systems are still operational. And we discover that like the blade arm is out of action for the moment, but the emergency biomass pressure release valve is still operational. So I kind of aim it towards these two creatures, and honestly, Dozer probably gets hit as well. I'm just gonna kind of with kind of lumpy, somewhere between like compost and abattoir slurry, and it kind of binds with the shifting, floating particles of these creatures. It doesn't kill them. I don't know if they can be killed, but it kind of gloms them together into lumps that sort of crunch to the collapse to the ground, and they're still kind of shifting and warbling, but they're not able to animate themselves. And those are, I don't know. I don't know if you have windscreen wipers.
I think after getting hit by this slurry, after launching itself at the creatures, does it kind of shakes its head a bit and just kind of lifts its claws up and starts scraping the stuff away from the head and piles it up in one of its paws, and will kind of sidle around the creature and offer the what remains of it back to the collective.
Ooh, interesting. I think the collective. I think the collective just sees that you are okay and that the threats have been neutralized, turns around and just kind of starts kind of lopsidedly kind of mech limping in the direction that we had already been going. Doesn't verbally communicate, doesn't accept the offering, and notably does not stop to offer Sprocket the ritual of recycling.
I think as you are sort of going through this process, as as the two creatures sort of go down and as they begin sort of bubbling up and thrashing and sort of trying to get free but not really able to, the four of you are stopped for a moment. And for a few very short seconds, you take in a breath and you can smell sea air. And then as you open your eyes and look around, you see a seaside at sunset. You see the sky painted in reds and oranges and lazy clouds sort of hazing up ahead. You smell salt and vinegar from a cone of chips that's being shared between two people. You hear quiet mutterings of, well, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on next door, so, I thought I'd pop around again, and, well, you'd have to hear this from Doris. And then out of nowhere, you'll snap back out of it again, and suddenly you're in the storm, and everything is a cacophony of noise.
I have detected a potential power source.
Who-
Sunlight. Sunlight in proximity to sodium chloride, aerosolized acetic acid.
Did anybody
Where?
see that?
Who put that in my head?
Monarch?
What was that?
What was? Did you experience the same sensor anomaly?
Yes.
Who's Doris?
Yes. I've never met a Doris.
I've never seen the sea.
That call sign is unknown to me. Us. Them.
We should keep moving.
We're running out of time.
Affirmative.
Yes, I heard some people struggling near the storm. We should.
Not go near them, yes.
We have a duty. That duty is threatened by danger. If we do not confront danger, that danger will persist.
That is correct. We need to confront the danger. Let's keep moving. We can argue on the way. Please?
The monarch is already leaving. Has this hand kind of crumpled, held against the chest.
I think
you
for
are-
a moment, as we start walking, Steffi will just turn back around and just look at Kelly for just a moment. Frankly, the moment lasts shorter than it should, but she turns immediately back around and starts walking forward.
Amazing. So you make your way, I'm guessing, along the main sort of pathway that leads through this industrial complex. All around now that your eyes have sort of adjusted to the dark, you can see that there is very much almost like a standard industry going on here. There are crates being moved around. There are sort of the distant chatters of, I guess, office conversation. There are like little pallet trucks just booping around the place. But what you hear in the distance and towards where the storm is heading to is a large barrage of almost iron against iron, the squeal of noise of industry that's not quite right. You hear volleys of what sounds like gunshots and quite a bit of screaming. It definitely sounds as though something is going on, at least in the distance.
So we approach and we see these people just kind of going about day-to-day work, and they don't seem to be reacting to this cacophony at all.
No, so if you look a little bit closer, or if you really sort of stop to have a nosy at them, it almost looks like the iron filing creatures. But they do not seem to regard you.
If we all see that, I will back away and we head in the direction of those noises, but not them.
Indeed. Avoid contact. Imperative.
I think you'd see Dozo almost go to make a step towards them, and then hears Mark and Jim say that, and just thinks better of it and follows them around the outside.
So are you heading towards the fight?
Sadly, I think so.
Okay. So you round through into what looks like it would have been a loading yard. There are a few trucks. It looks as though they've been loaded recently, and something has continued to keep putting pallets on the back of it, to the point where they have started to spill out. Strangely, it looks as though things have almost torn out of them. The wood is a little bit kind of, I guess, beaten and ruined, and then just off in the distance you see the burned out factory, the original one that you heard the noise coming from a good couple of weeks ago. You see a small unit of what looks to be factory workers and perhaps 2 or 3 folks in sort of military kind of DPM uniform. They are toe to toe with what looks to be a much larger version of the creatures you fought earlier. It is a looming ferrous monster, and it is bearing down on them. It doesn't seem like it's done any injury to them, and it doesn't seem as though the bullets are affecting them. If anything, it seems to be the muzzle flashes that every now and then will scare it away. Will send it to jump back.
Can we see any like fuel containers or like any like gas pipes or anything like that?
Do you want to have like a little look around maybe one of the factories?
I would love to try and have a look around one of these factories.
Okay, could you give me a little roly roll?
How many are we rolling now?
I think we're up to 4.
Oh.
Oh no?
I am going to burn my vice.
Okay.
Which
Uh,
is
My vice is, if only I could remember, it's that I'm forgetful. In this moment of kind of searching, I realized that I've already lost something. What have I lost? What have I lost? What have I was meant to do something. And then I see Sprocket and I see Kelly. And I realize that I have neglected my true purpose, but I can't go back because we have a mission. And that conflict, I think, is what drives this additional effort. Okay, 1116.
Okay. Nope, I did not get any. What happens? This is really mean.
I find So I go into one of the warehouses, and they're quite like, I imagine they're quite long. So I go in at the end that's further away from this conflict, and I'm kind of still not in great shape. So kind of bumping into stacks of crates, maybe knocking some of them over, weaving like a drunk crab, and my my kind of scanners are looking for like electricity, hydrocarbons, things like that. And right down the other end, I see there's like a utility shaft that has gas pipes, electricity lines, data cables, all sorts of stuff. And with my blade arm, that like is kind of back online, but like maybe not, as graceful as it was. And kind of using my mass to like shuffle backwards and then slam into it. I'm going to try and open this up, and using my blade arm to cut the gas and electricity pipe, gas pipes and electricity wires, so that I've essentially got a building attached flamethrower.
As this is all happening, I've looked at Dozer and been like, why do we care? I'm leaving. We have a bigger mission than this. And I'm going to leave.
Okay. Does anyone try and stop Monarch?
No.
Dozer will sees Jim go off to do goodness knows what at this point, and sees these military folks with these flashes kind of driving it back a bit, or at least it's reacting to them, and charges off after Monarch, and tries to kind of run rounds in front of them.
I'm gonna just stand my ground and take it out of my way.
We're doing this to recreate our home. If we can't save them, why are we doing this?
Did they ever save us?
Why does that matter?
Because I have no loyalty to them. And I'm going to try to push past.
Okay. Could I get a rolly roll for that? I don't think we have opposed rolls in 10 candles, so if I just say, can we get a straight roll for that?
So it's
Okay.
3 dice.
3 dice.
No ones, no sixes.
Oh no. Okay. You've not got. Is your moment ready yet, or?
Nope.
Okay. Cool beans. So that would take us to the next truth and down to 5 candles. So Sam, we'll start with you. So these things are true. The world is dark. Sam, what happens?
The Monarch is going to punch Dozer and crack part of the mech.
Oh, okay. Shaik, what happens?
Jim, your flamethrower situation, it starts to go out of control, and you can't. The fire starts coming out of it, and it won't stop. And it is hard to keep it in control and pointed in the direction you want it to.
Good timing. Khalil, what happens next?
The creature is driven off by the light, but not all of the humans make it.
I'm going to say that none of the humans make it. By the time all of you have turned around and done what you're doing, you just see 5 forms standing sort of blank-faced where the humans were. Chris, last one. What happens?
Monarch punches Dozer's head and cracks his jaw, and you can start seeing the soil that was under the sapling falling out of his head.
Oh, okay. And we are alive. So,
we are alive-ish.
ish. We're trying our best. So, I'll
Did you
start with.
plan that, Sam?
No, just incredible role playing from Chris.
That is actually really good. I love this. So I'll go to Monarch and Dozer first.
The hand that is still in action will just swipe out and hit your jaw.
Dozer recoils and instinctively goes up to kind of grab it, and then starts seeing dirt appearing on his claws, and kind of looks around and is trying to shovel it back in, but it's just falling into the darkness. And he just moves out of the way of Monarch, doesn't look at him, just moves out of the way, and then looks over to see the 4 humans paralyzed. Dozer lowers to the ground so that his head is, the bottom of his head is flush with the floor, and this head opens kind of the opposite way as it normally would, and Patch dashes out with the little control panel he was carrying, and starts examining the crack in the jaw.
Inside of the Monarch at this point, we'll watch as Whiskers turns and looks at the hand where Mizo is stood and say, "What are you doing? Why did you hit him? We just wanted him out of the way." And this other rat will exclaim, "He was getting in our way. We need him out." And that was the way to do it. The older rat will then launch himself at the hand, and they become embroiled in a fight. And over time, the others start to panic, try to pull them apart, and in the ensuing chaos, one of these rats doesn't make it. And I have 6 left. Could I ask one of my other players to roll me a d6?
I can do it.
Go for it.
6.
You hear a shout from Zig saying, "No, no, no, no," as, like, lying on the ground, his brother Zag. You don't know who got the blow, but this small rat lies in a crumpled heap as they turn on each other.
Oh, I hate this so much.
I've been dreading the moment one
Same.
of those 2 dies.
Okay.
And you did it. You did it. You rolled the dice.
I did it!
Oh.
It was by my own hand. Oh, Shakespeare couldn't write this. He probably could.
Nah, they didn't have mechs in Tudor England.
That's what they want us to think.
That was the lost.
They had rats, plenty of rats.
Is
That
a
was in the
submarine a
lost
mech?
sonnet. Actually.
What is? Oh, sorry.
Oh, so I was saying, can I, while this is happening, try and patch up the hole in the jaw with something, even if it's just some scraps that I found. Just try and hold it in place.
I would offer a roll of tape, but I'm not really particularly generous anymore, so.
I love that.
Sorry, you're out of luck.
Oh, could I get a little roly roll for that, please? So we're down to 5 dice.
That is 2 6s, 2 1s.
Cool, cool. Do you want to do anything with those ones, or?
Yeah, I might burn my virtue here.
Okay.
To
Still on your virtue?
Yeah, sustain some more dice for us for a bit here. So I'm burning my virtue, which is altruistic.
Okay.
And in this moment, Patch has realized that despite the the storm, the monster bearing down on us, and everything that's threatening us at the moment, that this little seed that's in his mech's mouth is the most important thing to all of us for our survival, and is willing to even get out of his mech to make sure that it doesn't get damaged. And with the reroll, I've got 4 6s now.
Whoa.
Fucking.
Yeah, no, I got 4 5s and a 1. What happens?
Patch comes to the conclusion that this damage isn't going to go away. There's a crack, and even as he's using the control panel to try and move the jaw, you can see it almost moving in 2 pieces now. So he gets some rags, maybe even tears some some things he was. I don't know if the cat wears clothing, maybe, and tries to kind of bundle it all and the sapling into a bag, and ties it up, and is going to take it further back inside the inside Dozer, and I think actually kind of cradles it and presses it into the seat that he'd been sitting in whilst controlling the mech, and kind of bundles it over, and then just kind of awkwardly perches to one side and reattaches the control panel, and then starts clicking away as the jaw clumsily slams shut and part of it hangs off and stands back up again.
Amazing. So I'm going to say that you have your little sidecar passenger. While this is going,
Dozer. I didn't mean to do that.
Dozer just leans back and turns and looks at Monarch, and presses one hand into the ground and scratches Sag underneath it, whilst looking directly at Monarch, and rises back up again and looks back and calls for the others to join them.
so while this is going on, Turbo, what are you up to?
I see the flamethrower go out of control. What does it look like, could I ask? Just what exactly is it in your hand?
It's so mains gas pipes, like a big mains gas pipe that would be probably to us about that thick, and some like sparking big cables, and I've cut them both, and so they're kind of coming out of the ground in this warehouse, and with my tentacles I've pointed it towards the people, well, the iron creature, and accidentally some of these people probably got burned as well, because of how out of control it got. But it's basically gas coming out of this pipe being ignited by the sparks from these cables.
Yeah. I think I'm going to see that happening, and without thinking, I'm gonna rock up to it, and I'm just gonna look and think, and I'm gonna take out something sharp from my box of random crap, and just cut the thing that the cord or whatever you said that the sparks are coming out of, hoping maybe the outcome is good. Maybe it blows up, but maybe the outcome is good.
Can
Don't roll bad.
I was going to say, can I get a roll?
How many do I
Or do.
roll?
I think we're up to 5 now.
Okay. Everybody's been burning traits, so we're still at 5. That's good. Oh my lord. That is kind of cocked though. I can't quite. It's very clearly a 6, but it's slightly on top of a tissue. So I don't know if does that count.
I'd say if it's showing a 6.
Alright, well that's a 6 and 3 1s.
Are you... I'm gonna take those ones. They're mine
And
now.
I'm gonna take them away. I'm gonna another trait, which
Okay.
actually makes sense because I'm burning my vice, which is recklessness.
Okay.
As I'd say I'm being a good amount of reckless right now. We might blow up, but we might not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna re-roll these ones. 4, 4, 5, but I do have the original 6.
Okey-do. Okay, what happens?
Ha! Okay. I look to my left and I see Dozer and Monarch getting up to some shit, and I look to my right and I see the flame going everywhere. I see the 5 people on the ground dead. I look back at Jim, and I don't really want to bother thinking about consequences as I roll up and I just cut that wire in half. The spark, I see it almost go through the air and almost connect to the other side and almost ignite something, but it's too far away, and the rain and the air, the water, should really be a connective thing because that's how electricity works, but almost sort of stops it as they fall on the ground. One end falls on the ground, and the fire burns out.
Okay. Jim, how do you react to this?
Seeing as the creature has been scared away already by this burst of fire and light, I will turn to the humans and say, "Humans, this location is unsafe. The danger has passed, but you must come with us to a new haven."
Are they alive? Are any of the humans alive?
So you see that the 2 soldiers that have taken point, they are stood perfectly still, staring just off into space. It's almost though they've hit rigor mortis, but their heart's still beating. The back 3 definitely did not come out the best side of the flamethrower.
Signs of life minimal. Initiating ritual of recycling. And with my long pointed tentacles, I will clatter over and one by one skewer them and feed them into my recycling port. You will be part of the new haven. And then I turn to Turbo. And I say, "The mission remains the same. We must proceed."
We're not going to be able to recycle every corpse that we come across. We need to get going. They'll keep dying. We won't be able to recycle all of them. Just walk ahead. I think they're about to. The other 2 are about to kill each other anyway.
I do not have recycling capacity for an entire mech. We must stop this. And I guess we both head over to our fighting.
Almost seems like you made a joke there, Jim. All right, let's keep going.
So yeah, we get back to the others. I see you were damaged. Dozer? What happened?
It's not important.
Doesn't matter.
Monarch punched Dozer. Let's go.
You have lost a brother. And my connection with that duty is still somewhat damaged from the attack by the iron monster that fried my memories, but my burning of my forgetfulness is a kind of like represents the kind of almost like a kind of, you know, when an electrical device is kind of like sparking on and off, like a broken neon. And so I get little sparks of it. As I say, you have lost a brother. And
Yeah, I'm
then
keeping him here this time. This is your fault.
fault.
Yes. If you hadn't stopped to try and fix that, we might not have been impatient.
The danger has been driven away. We have acquired more biomass for the haven. The mission remains the same.
What else was our fault? Sprocket? Was that our fault too?
Who?
Who? Get on with it. Go, go. Let's just keep going.
Dozer. This is as we're walking.
Yeah.
Dozer, you have biomass in your jaw. You are not a recycling mech.
I don't know what you mean.
There's the kind of the mechanized skull equivalent of a knowing look. But keep going.
So, as you head further out, you walk past the remains of the old exploded factory. You see it is almost cratered the ground. And around it there is teeming hundreds of these little creatures, these little ferrous creatures that previously had been kept back. They'd been kept back by some of the noise, by some of the muzzle flashes. They'd been kept back by the fires that had been burning right up until the point that this storm blew over. And as you sort of begin to move past them, you almost feel as though something is burning into the side of your head. You feel as though the entire area is loud, as though there is 1,000 swirling ideals and memories and things that maybe had been kept sacred once upon a time have now been cast out and is entirely centering on this one spot. If it's all right with you guys, I'm going to ask for one action from each of you, and I'm going to say if each of us roll for it with the 5 die, as they begin to collect together with the creature that had previously been scared off by Jim's fire and bear down upon the 4 of you, creating a behemoth of a creature.
You have it right, Dozer.
Dozer nods and turns to Jim, and the jaw opens and Patch holds out a bag of cloth to Jim and says, "Keep this safe for you, pal."
A tentacle takes it and it goes into a different hatch, not the input port for the recycling. It goes into a different port. You don't know what it's like in there, but
Dozer's jaw, Patch retreats back inside, and Dozer's jaw clatters shut again, and he turns to the others and says, "Run," and charges towards the behemoth, and just kind of stands in front of it and tries to make the mech as kind of big and imposing as possible, and then roars at it. It's not a doesn't really sound like a roar. Patch could never really get the sound right. It just more sounds like a lot of quite horrific metallic scraping sounds that are coming from essentially all of the joints and things in the mech scraping together. It's quite loud.
Okay. So are you staying? Are the rest of you running?
I'd be
I
following.
think when he says run, and there are maybe 3-4 seconds when Turbo Crusher stands behind, frozen, almost unsure of what to do. Suddenly, unable to make a quick decision like she has typically been able to do. But then she starts walking back and back and back while not being able to look away and runs.
So I'm going to say anyone that is staying, can I get a roll first, and then we'll do the folks running second.
A 1 and a 6.
Okie dokie. That is 2 5s, a 3, a 1, and a 6. So I'm going to say that you charge at this thing, and for a moment it seems almost surprised that something has pounced directly into its mass. Shortly after, you start to feel strangely warm as this creature entirely envelops itself around you. What would you say is one of Doza's, I guess, formative memories? What is something that makes Doza Doza?
In a clearing in the haven, everyone's having a good time. You can see even Jim is a bit more relaxed than usual. And Dozer is lying down flat in the grass as Patch sits atop the mech. And in front of him, with rapt attention, you can see a sequence of rats of varying ages and sizes, 10 of them, listening to him regaling them with tales that nobody really believes are true. They're quite kind of fantastical. He talks about all these amazing places out in the world he used to visit when it was sunny and when the winds blew and you could smell the sea and people are kind of aware that cats can live quite a long time, but not that long of a time. But everyone likes to kind of give him these moments. And at the end of all these stories, he passes a few small tumblers around, and those who are old enough to partake, he pours a little bit of his fine whiskey he keeps with him, uncorks it. It's a new bottle actually, and pours them all a glass and offers a cheers to all the assembled animals and mechs.
So as you feel the shock of the landing from the pounce sort of run through the palms of your paws, for a moment you wonder why you're doing this. For a second you have to think, why am I here? What have I done this for? Why does it hurt so much? And why am I doing this for these people? And for a second everything goes black. The 3 that are running, could I get a 4-die roll from each of you?
It's
Just to be clear, I'm not running away. I'm
Yeah.
walking with Dozer.
Oh, could I get a fighty roll then, please?
Still with 4 dice though, now that that's like one's gone, right?
I'm gonna say that I said that the 2 fighty ones could go down at the same time, so I'll say you can still have 5.
I'd rather 4.
Okay. Okay.
I'd rather kill more of my own things.
Which works quite well because that's no 1s and no 6s.
Okay. Cool. I will take us through to the truths then, and then if we hit the 2 runners, if that's cool with y'all. Amazing. So, these things are true. The world is dark. Sam, what happens?
The monarch's mech suit begins to be disintegrated by these smaller little creatures.
Okay. Shahik, what happens next?
Jim starts running. The little cloth. We don't see it, but on the inside, it's the seed is being shaken up and slightly damaged. Not sure if to an extent that matters, but it is.
Okay. Khalil, what happens?
As lightning continues to strike from the storm, and this creature keeps growing, it's being struck like a lightning rod. And we don't know whether it's hurting it or empowering it.
I am going to say the two that start to run, you realize that between you and a wide open area just straight ahead, there is a river that's running. And we are up to 4, so I'm sorry, Chris. That's the last truth. And we are alive.
And we're alive.
We're alive.
So, Turbo and Collective, could I please get 2 rolls for how y'all are running, handling this situation?
How
You're
many
rolling
dice?
4 each.
Whilst they're running, what happens to me? As I run to them.
Did you dive straight into it?
I started running after Dozer and then rolled the failure.
So I'm going to say that this thing is seeking sustenance. It has been, I guess, chasing after the lot of you for the sustenance in form of memories all this time. It sees one willing target fly straight into its trap and another one heading straight towards it. Almost like it's being magnetized, you see these little tendrils start to reach out towards the monarch and wrap around the limbs to try and drag it into the formation.
As that happens, and from the truths, it starts to be kind of pulled apart. There's just at one point a hole in the side of this mech, and there's a small rat face that just like looks out, panicked, looks back at the rest, says, "It's time to go," and jumps out of the hole. And we don't see what happens to them after that. As Scamper disappears.
So I will come back to you two in a second. The 2 runners. What did y'all get?
I got a 1 and a 6.
I got no 1s and no 6s. But, and would burning my moment allow me to re-roll?
So you'd be able to re-roll the whole pool if you burn your moment.
This is great because the action that I wanted to do actually fits perfectly with this moment. I will find hope in a death that brings life. And so with a 6 and no 1s, I think what I do is I can feel instantly once the bundle with the sapling is handed to me, and as soon as it goes into my interior and that shuts, worms start crawling into through the cloth and into the soil that's around the root base, and like sensing it, and it's like, this is the mission. I don't know why I'm doing it, but this is the mission. And I know that I have like a certain amount of biomass still left in the tank. It's quite fresh though; it's not necessarily decomposed yet. And what I do is we're getting towards this river, and I know that my systems are failing, my battery is failing, my mech is beat up, and so I kind of limp my way to the riverbank, set myself down on the skull, so I've got my 4 tendrils available, and with one tendril, I pull out the plant, with another tendril unwrapping it. With another tendril, I pull out one of the bodies of these people that I killed. Not on purpose, but I killed. And my blade arm makes a deep incision along here. I jam the sapling into the body, and I set it out afloat to flow downriver. I don't know where it's going, but it's got to be better than here.
We will come to that towards the end. Unless, Turbo, do you want to do something?
What are you doing? Anything could happen to it. It could disappear. Somebody could take it. It could drown. Anything could happen. A lightning could strike it.
Anything could happen to it here. We lack the reserves of power. We lack the reserves of personnel. And we lack the intelligence resources to guarantee its safety. Unknown chance of survival is more important than certain doom.
I hope you're right.
A death in this place will not continue the cycle.
I'm not sure how. To be quite honest, that is just as much of a certain doom, in my opinion, as if it continued traveling with us. We could have gotten it somewhere, but it's already gone anyway. I can't do anything about it.
You are welcome to follow the river.
I'm going to follow the river.
I lack the structural integrity of remaining battery capacity. You may drain mine to power yours if you wish to follow the seed.
No, let's just wait for the other two. Figure out how we're going to pass the river.
The other two will not be joining us.
You don't know that. They could be behind. They could be just.
Their
The
statistical
creature could be dead
probability-
by now.
Their statistical probability of survival is minimal.
Well, you've always been quite pragmatic, haven't you?
On that, what is going on back with the other two, with the fighters?
Those I can see. Well, saw. Sorry. Who was it that we lost there? Scamper.
Scamper.
Getting lost into the creature, and sees Monarch's body starting to disintegrate, and just tries to grab Monarch and throw him out of the creature as far as he can.
I'm going to try and resist, so I don't know if you want to try and roll to throw me. I don't want to leave you.
All right. How many dice? We have
3.
That is 3 2s.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna burn my moment to reroll. So I reroll the whole lot, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna roll my moment. I will find hope when the young ones are safe. Still no 6s and no 1s.
Oh, okay. So I will take us over to the truths. So for a fleeting moment, you think that you know that everything is going to be okay. You think you see the seed going off, and you think you see the rats escaping. And then for a moment, you're not too sure if this is one of those made-up memories. So the world is dark. Chris, what happens?
As Doza grabs Monarch and tries to throw him out of the way, Monarch is resisting, and those bits of the creature that have been tearing Monarch's body apart get onto Doza's front claws, and both of his front hands just disappear, and he walks forwards onto the 2 stumps.
Okay. Sam, what happens next?
As this tiger falls forward, hip goes in for a hug. Out a hole in the side and tries to get in through the mouth to hug Patch.
Okay. Shaik, what happens?
I think Turbo stares at Jim, looks back behind him at the sapling flowing away, looks back at Jim and thinks, no, not gonna leave this up to chance. My battery will die, but until it does, at least I can follow the sapling. For as long as I can, I will make sure it doesn't die here. And I start walking, running to catch up with the sapling, and just running along the river.
And that is the last one. And we are alive. I guess.
In regards to.
Just with what's going on, Turbo, are you trying to chase after
Yeah.
the sapling?
Yeah, I want to catch up. How fast is this river?
I'd say that it's going pretty speedily.
Okay, well in that case, I'm going to take off my front glass panel, as it's quite large, and I'm going to I'm going to jump and I'm going to position it under me so that I use it as a little raft as I land on it, which means I am exposed. Steffi's body is exposed. But I try to swim behind the sapling after I catch up to it as much as possible.
Can I get a 3-die roll, please?
So the
Yes.
body that the sapling is in is one of the people who wasn't a soldier. You say they were factory workers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they're wearing kind of like overalls, with the kind of the kind of poppers down the front, and that's all completely open, and there's kind of a neat deep slit right down the middle, with this sapling sticking out the front, and they're sort of lying on their back, floating on the surface of the water, face completely blank.
I have no ones and no sixes. I will burn my moment.
Okay. How do you do that?
My moment is. Do I say it now?
Yeah, if you're burning it.
I will find hope in myself. I think as I swim down, watching the body in front of me, I say swim, but just being taken in the river, I watch it and I look around and I almost feel at least content or peaceful, knowing at the very least for the next 20 minutes I will have done everything in my power to make sure the sapling is safe. And I think there's like moments where there's like maybe like a log or something, or like a rock is about to fall over or something, and I probably extend one of my tools is an extremely long ruler that can extend out of my arm, and I use it as just sort of a bit of a stick to just push things aside from in front of the body, making its way through the river.
Could I get a reroll, please, of them 3 die?
Yes. 2, 5, and a 1.
Okay, so I will take us through to the truths. So, you follow this sapling. You are certain that it is going to make it. You are fairly certain that it is going to follow it all the way down to sort of the mouth of the river and through into a more green area. And then you see it get snagged on a sandbank. And you try to shift, you try to move, but your servos are completely inundated with river water. They're not used to being outside of the larger mech. And as you go to reach out, your systems freeze. And you watch it as you go past. These things are true. The world is dark. Shaggy, what happens?
Steffi jumps out of the mech to try to follow the sapling and save it herself.
Khalil, what happens?
The river is filled with like more floating corpses rushing downstream as they are ejected from Jim's compartment. So Steffi is buffeted by corpses.
Okay. We are down to 2 candles. So, and we are alive.
We're alive.
And we're alive.
And we're alive?
Question mark.
Question mark. I'm going to pop back over to the fighting pair.
Pip throws himself out to try and go in for a hug, and with that, Mizo will go no and try to grab on. And as Pip tries to get themselves towards Patch, they both have disappeared into the fire.
Dozer looks at the kind of swirling around them and looks down at the ground and tries to kind of raise up and kind of isn't really able to hold the weight anymore, but takes one of the stumps and just pounds a couple of divots in the ground and tries to crudely scroll Miso and Pip. Underneath them, it doesn't really work. And is going to kind of hunker down and one last time try to just use his shoulder to push the monarch, what remains of the monarch, out of the creature.
Could I get a 2-die roll?
That is a 1 and a 4.
Okay.
I'm going to, if I can, burn my vice to roll that one again.
Okay.
As Dozer is doing this, you can kind of see Patch's face through the cracks in the tiger's head, looking through the hole inside of Monarch at the remaining rats, and says, "You're going to get out of this. You're going to survive this, okay?" And I burn the vice, liar. That is another 1.
Okay. I am going to take us through to the last stand, I think. So these things are true. The world is dark. Chris, what happens?
Those were the last words that Patch ever spoke.
And we are alive. So, we reached the last stand. This was never a tale of great heroics or a last stand of vainglorious power against a rising tide of horror. This was an everyday tale of people just wanting to get themselves further and to make themselves known. You don't know if the sun will rise, but you have fought for the warmth of its rays and the fleeting chance that the kin who come after you may get to feel it too, or know that someone loved them just beyond the veil. At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It is about love and hope and how we've always contained it in multitudes. You will die, But know that your hope rages in embers and love does not die with you. Keep going. I'm proud of you. This is the last stand. So you will be rolling 1 die. I'm going to say, just for the sake of time, there are no rerolls. If you fail, you die. So I will run us round. You can see where we go from here. If that sounds like a shout for people. So I'm going to start with Dozer, just because I know that you are sort of gearing up that way anyway. Do you want to roll to see what happens, or would you like to narrate just flat out?
I'll roll just to see if the final thing he was trying to do even slightly works. If I can push Monarch back.
Okay.
That was a 2. So
Okay. What happens to Dozer?
Dozer is kind of comes to the realization that this thing is pretty much surrounding them now. They're not like next to it or pushing it. They're just inside it. And can see the bits of the mech around, just scraping and being pulled apart, and stops trying to push and tries to just clamber over Monarch and shield its body. And that's when Dozer stops moving.
Monarch, you feel a weight above you. It quickly goes dead, and any senses you had for life signs go flat. There is still a tumult of noise and movement as this creature realizes that it gets nothing. Dead men tell no tales. What do you do?
Whiskers looks around to be like, it's just you music, and gets no response as looking towards where Dozer is, you just see a single tail from underneath the carapace of this mech where they could try to run. And Whiskers will look towards Dozer and say, "Thank you for the stories." And tries to initiate any sort of last fighting stand with this mech.
Can I get a roll for that?
That's a 5.
In this last stand, what does Monarch do? And how does Monarch die?
This rat tries to do what any rat would do when cornered in a place and try to fight its way out. But the metal here is all too much for it. And without describing what happens, this mech and the mech on top are just swarmed over with fire as the lights fade.
You see a sudden swarm of darkness over these two mechs. It forms a tunnel not a tunnel, a mound as it tries to get in, hunting for any life signs. And as it realizes that the prey is going cold, it dissipates out. Steffi, what are you doing?
As I jump out of my mech, now swimming or being on the river, trying to get close to the sapling and to free its way. I think I try my best to start like swimming sideways so I can try to hold on to something on the side of the river and get out of it.
Could I get a roll for that, please?
Five.
So you feel cold water start making its way inside of Steffi's cybernetics.
May I kill Steffi?
Yes.
Right. As the water starts flowing, ooh, that's too much. Through more and more, and the gears inside Steffi, who is not human, who's in fact just another mech inside a mech. We see suddenly out of one of its eye sockets something starts coming out of it, and it looks strange, it looks weird, it looks green, and you're reminded of the fact that inside this body, where a brain sits usually, was just a little beetle inside a ball of slime. And as the slime starts rolling out of the eye socket, it starts moving out, trying to survive a couple more seconds, and it starts rolling itself onto the body, trying to get closer to the side of the river without a plan of what really is going to happen. And before it can even reach the leg, with each centimeter that it rolls, more and more of the slime sticks to the body and is taken away from the water from the rain. More and more of it dissolves until nothing is left of it, and there's just a beetle. Once all of the slime is gone, the beetle sort of stops for a second, almost as if there's been a hard reset. And there has, because the beetle is no longer Steffi without the slime. It's simply a beetle. There's no sentience beyond a little insect in there anymore. And it rattles away like a little cockroach hiding in a little corner wherever it can find.
What do you try and do?
I'm trying to hold myself together. We are trying to hold ourselves together. Jim is trying to hold itself together. The iron creature senses that there is some glimmer of sentience left over there, and you can see it kind of snaking a tendril over. But while that's happening, inside Jim, alarms are blaring, like systems are shutting down, power levels critical, and the worms turn on each other. And I mean, I'll roll to see if. Nope, that's it's very much a 1. So the worms, the cracks that started in the shared consciousness, the cracks from this ferrous creature continue to widen, and they end up in schisms that are both physical, like chunks of worms, like chunks of the mass of worms turning on each other, but they're also kind of ideological, like politics. But it's also like, imagine if different parts of your brain were fighting each other. And this hasn't happened since the Great Schism that heralded the demise of the unit designation Jovian Auxiliary Militia Expeditionary Scout, which was the former vehicle before Judex in Mortis. And having lost all connection with the reasoning behind the mission, but knowing that the mission is accomplished to the best of our ability, the only thing that was holding us together is gone. And it's like a myriad of Ouroboruses in multiple dimensions, all these worms turning on each other. And we see from the outside, the giant skull body is kind of face diagonal in the dirt, and Judex in both those words are kind of scraped and obscured by rubble, and you just see Mortis, devoid of context, just death is the last word on my face.
With that, as Jim goes quiet, and as the last sentience in the area sort of fizzles down, everything goes quiet for now. The factories carry on going. They've been given some sustenance. The ghosts in the system continue running, putting pallets into full lorries, moving things on conveyor belts that are full to bursting. And those in Haven's Perch never know where their stories go. It rots and wilts, and maybe one day someone might find their stories, but for now it's not quite made it. You tried, though, and trying is arguably one of the most important parts. And with that, all candles are put out. The world is dark. And that's the end of our adventure. Can you call it an adventure?
More like an advent here.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for bringing some amazing characters to the table. Y'all are breaking my heart. We'll do one last little whip round of goodbyes, and then we will skedaddle, and everyone's going to get a little treat, I hope. So, I have been Magpie. I have been your Games Master, General Goblin. You can find me online at Antique Horror. Yeah, I'll do my usual. I will ping it over to Khalil.
Hey, I've been Khalil Thurlaway. You can find me on Blue Sky at Dr. Talks a Lot. Or you can often find me over at Science and Sorcery doing my role play, or on the podcasts Our Broken Planet and Wild Crimes. I'm going to ping over to Shahik.
Hi again, everybody, and soon enough, bye. But for now, I have been Sharik. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm primarily a sound designer in the space. You can hear my work on the One Shot podcast, and you can also hear my voice and my work on my actual play solo show, Roll by Myself. Oh, and Chris.
Hello, everybody, and goodbye, everybody. I've been Chris, and you can find me on Blue Sky at Banger Boy. And most of the time, I work as a chemistry technician. So if you need any analytical chemistry done, you can let me know. But aside from that, you can usually find me wherever people will let me play games of Blades of the Dark and run them for them. And you can sometimes find me on these spaces as well. And I'll pass it on to Sam.
Hello, folks. I've been your 10 Rats and a Mech. My name is Sam. You can find me all over the internet at Sam Size. I'm a science communicator, a TTRPG performer, and you can find me over at Science Sorcery alongside Khalil, or on my Sad Stories for Sad People actual play, Who Hurt You. Thank you so much for running this, Magpie.
Thank you.
Are you sure this is a thank you moment?
Okay,
Absolutely,
fuck you.
absolutely.
That's more like it. Right. So on that note, as I talk here, I will let everyone go. Happy time zone.
Happy time zone.
Bye.
Ugh, that punch hurt. Cracked my jaw, the blighter. Those damn rats will be the end of me. The storm's getting worse. But if I can get them out of here, it will all be worth it. After all, what's a New Haven without the people to call it home? Patch and Dozer, signing off.
Okay, Captain's log number 1. I just finished building my mech. It was a little bit weird trying to get inside without losing too much of the slime, but I did fit in here. I am ready. I've got my body, and I'm about to start making another mech. I'm so excited for whatever I'm gonna get up to. I did make some friends recently. It was a little rat named Shadow. I loved him. He's gonna be great. I'm so excited for everything's to come. I don't know what's gonna happen though. But I did hear about something. Some drone wanted me to help with something, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go talk to them next, soon.
Final transmission of unit designation Udex in Mortis. Hull integrity compromised. Power reserves critical. Memory banks damaged. Current position untenable. We have set the last seed afloat with a biomass primer. But we know not why. We have lost contact with Dozer and the Monarch. But we know not how. We have seen Turbo Crusher chasing the seed. But we know not to what avail. Final mission status unknown. This place is not a place of honor. Nothing valued is here. What is here is dangerous and antagonistic to life. The danger is to the mind and body, and is likely still present. The form of the danger is a consuming, nullifying force. This place is best shunned, but if you must come, bring and spread light wherever you go. This is the final message of the collective. The cycle ends.
I can hear them breathing. But the levers don't move anymore. The suit is too heavy and my paws are too small. We thought we could be more than rats. For a while we were. Now the dark is coming and we're all shrinking again. If anyone finds this husk, know we tried. We all never want to go home.